Hello everyone, I'm assuming now I'm audible to people. Just going to be checking this out. Just one sec. So just going to be testing this out, seeing what I think, seeing how it sounds. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Alright, so that's fine. So let's make this work. Let's make this work. Alright. Let's pop this into Discord and let's get going. Alright, I can just keep the chat open. I think that'll work best. Hello everyone, welcome to another stream, another gaming stream. My name is Super Professor. It's nice to see you here on this Sunday night, the end of our University of Guelph winter break term. Here we are about to go back to classes, 7 more weeks to wrap up our winter term, and I thought what better way to talk about franchise games than to spend some time streaming and taking you through Castlevania. Castlevania, which is not just a wonderful example of kind of the Dracula vampire killer sort of genre taken to its max, but platforming, puzzle gaming, and a whole bunch of wonderful different ways this title can kind of function to speak about the changes in the industry over the last 30, 40 years. It is about 35-ish years old, and small fact, this was my first NES game that my dad bought for me as a kid when I was, I think, 6. I don't remember, but I do remember the game. I do remember the game being distinctly quite exciting. So I would have been about 6 or 7 or something like that. Can't exactly remember when it first showed up for us. So if you're unfamiliar with the series, it's fairly basic. It's the Belmont family have vampire killer powers. Dracula's obviously someone we have to take care of and deal with. Tonight I'm going to play some of Castlevania. I'm probably only going to make it to about the 4th level because there are 6. And to date, in 35 years of playing this, I have never beaten it. I don't think I will tonight. I will try, but it gets incredibly hard for a platform-based, pixel-based, 8-bit game. It starts to really ramp things up. But it's got some cool things about it, some cool ways of thinking about how it plays. We'll probably play a little Dracula's Curse. Simon's Quest is a bit more of a quest game with a lot more like item grabbing, and it takes a lot more time to just collect everything. And it's not that it's not interesting, it's when you have to play over multiple playthroughs to get through most of it. The others are far more arcade style. Castlevania 1, Castlevania 3, and Super Castlevania 4 for the Super Nintendo, which is just a remake of Castlevania, basically. So if you haven't played this game, we'll be using our whip and various items, or our Morning Star, as we go through and sort of take out creatures of all types. And the Belmonts will be trying to thwart Dracula's presence in Transylvania. And then tomorrow night I'm going to be playing Symphony of the Night, which is still a PS1 game, which is still classified as perhaps the greatest platforming game maybe of all time. This idea of something that is just so completely developed as a complete castle with so many ways to go and so many paths with abilities to level up and get more gear and get more abilities. And I'll talk more about that obviously tomorrow, but it all starts kind of here. So sit back, enjoy my my kids' play stuff that's behind me because I didn't have time to set up the green screen. I might for tomorrow, but I thought I would dress up as the most like David Rose possible like sweater thing that I've got. It's not black and white, but it's close. And we'd get playing a little bit tonight. So these are some of the different titles. Castlevania, Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, and if you were in class before winter break, we did talk about a lot of sequels in Nintendo were just quick, thrown together sequels because suddenly things were so popular. Just like Mario 2, Simon's Quest doesn't really feel like a true Castlevania game. It is, but it just seems quickly cobbled together from other titles. Castlevania 3, which is in the same style as Castlevania, a bit more development. You can play as other characters who join the squad, trade in and out at max. Far more a really revamped version of it. Likewise, Super Castlevania 4, the Super Nintendo version that comes out. We have 2 Game Boy adventures, Castlevania Adventure, Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge, and then Bloodlines, and something my kid's been playing with me, Kid Dracula. It's the whole game redesigned as a far more kid-friendly experience. Even though there's giant spikes that will still kill you in one hit, it's a bit more light-hearted. You know, a can of tomato juice in his hand, Kid Dracula was enjoying TV for the first 10,000 years when out of the blue, a servant bat bites his head. What the fang is going on? So, you know, we can look at that another time. But, yeah, I'm going to have another sip of my, my extra pale ale here, and, we can start playing and talking about what we think about Simon Belmont, the Belmont family, and trying to thwart Dracula. So, now one thing that I think is really cool about these games is they all use this film and sprocket effect, much like old Kino film or cinema film, or kind of like, you know, Nosferatu and all of that. And this is just a bit of a demo that I'll let play for a second, but ultimately they still have this kind of like appearance of sprockets like an old movie, kind of an old horror film idea is what they're trying to go for here. And this is the basic premise. We've got our health bar, our special item here. He's got a dagger. You use hearts in order to use your special item. But you'll see here this kind of, 1987 Konami, who would go on to do such great titles like Metal Gear Solid and Symphony of the Night and so many other things. But oh, that's not what I want. I'm ready. That's not, sorry, this is a weird interface because it's an emulator basically. Start key, push start key. Oh, I still couldn't get it. I still don't know how to bring out all the, you know, wonderful secrets. Now, this flicker always happened. This was just something that happened with the original game. Now, I think I'm just going to pause and make my square a little smaller because I'm blocking the corner. Okay, that's much better. It's amazing to me the physical sensation of knowing when to press certain buttons and what to expect out of a title that is almost 30 years old or 35 years old. This idea that, like, I still know how to expect spawns, I know where things are. It's not complicated, but like the feeling of just feeling that physicality, because this is one of the first games I ever did interact with as a kid. So it's kind of like another Konami game, Contra, where you're playing as two, muscly, to me, very homoerotically charged, sort of soldiers fighting aliens. But this idea where, like, you kind of inherently know the button presses that are going to be expected. Like, there's a bat that's coming out right there that I did beat, but and the double fishman. I've often wondered if I could play this blindfolded by just listening to what's going on. And the way I've never forgotten where all my bonuses are, like. And remember, this is a time when games are played for points, like points will matter for extra Simons, to have extra players. It's also come to my attention that I'm a mouth expressor, that, when I play games and I get really into it, things shift for how I'm playing, so please bear with me. I'll try to loosen my lips with Rolling Rock here and see how that goes. There's the invisibility that I need to grab for this part. And the axe. And our first boss, the vampire bat. So I have to press up and trigger to use this special ability. This bat is not really proving that difficult. He's more menacing than actually a problem, but... That's stage 1 or level 1 with, 3 blocks. Most of the stages are divided into 3 even blocks with doors that give a load time and give you an ability to, like, reconfigure back to that start point. I do believe we get unlimited continues, but we'll make our way up into the castle. And this map would also quintessentially become the same map that functions for all of Symphony of the Night. They should definitely consider a few sequels, and remaking the same thing multiple times as much as they can, so. I always thought you should get your heart back if you could catch your crossbow. I thought that would be reasonable. That was weird. So, the PlayStation uses random buttons that it's decided are best. And I will say that they feel a little less Nintendo controller-y for me. I would feel far better playing this on a Wii controller, I think. Potentially. I'm trying to remember what it is about Titans that I like or don't like. Can you remind me? Because, I'm a hunter by trade, perhaps because of this and other things, but I forget what the middle tree is for Titan Sunbreaker. Now, I played this with my kid today, and he was like, "Daddy, watch out, Medusas." And he now knows Medusa is, a classical creature who can make you into stone. So, oh yeah, that's right. Yes, the hammer effect. I try to block Titans from my mind, as much as I can. No offense if y'all are a Titan. But I am a big proponent of, instead of like championing hunters in Destiny and calling them they are a master class, you never use the R word, because that is just basically fascist speak, Of course. Hunter mate, of course. You know what it is. You know why? I've told some people why the hunter. That was the worst jump in the world. The only reason it's hunter is because of the golden gun from GoldenEye, which was my first experience with a form of like local PvP. You know, so if you have a golden gun, yeah, that jump was terrible. I'm really sorry about that. That sort of jumped out of nowhere. Oh, I got a free Simon, which will help. Because I got 30,000 points. I don't know if it's every 30,000 that you get another Simon, but I have P3. That should not have been gotten at that point. Alright, my dagger's not quite as strong as other things. Yeah, no, I get the infinite shoulder charge thing. That totally... Just gonna avoid those. I get it. In PvP, maybe not so much, or like, you know, but... I don't know, it just... I'm really feeling it with Destiny. I want D3 or whatever comes next, or some incarnation of it, to really shift a few things. I'm not feeling these latest expansions. I really hope it'll shift, but I'm not sure. Although BlizzCon, I have to say, BlizzCon was a lot of fun, especially not some of the things Blizzard's done as a company. I'm not excusing those things, but like the developers themselves talking about their game is what really gets me going when they start to really get excited about some of the shifts. And I really appreciate that they're making Null Sector seem a little bit more distinct and having character. A lot of the PvE elements are going to have more character, and they're going to be more like you're facing opposing creatures and people with skills, as opposed to just generic robots that you kill and destroy. My kid is terrified of ghosts. Don't worry, we'll be getting to Destiny in a little bit in the class at that point. Now, I'm not going to get anywhere past, I've already said this, but I'm not going to get past level... I will pass level 4. I can get to level 5 in this, but I cannot beat the Grim Reaper. It just, that's where it ends. Yes, Overwatch, yes. I was watching a bit of BlizzCon. This Medusa battle is boring, because all you do is use your stopwatch, which does take 5 hearts, but you just basically stop her and fry her. Yeah, BlizzCon was online this year, obviously, and they showed a bit more about Overwatch 2, especially some maps, the London map, the Rome map. They showed a bit of Toronto, which I'm super excited about. I'm getting really emotionally drawn as a fan to see a Toronto map and think about what that can entail. Yeah, like, the only way you can really grow Overwatch, in my opinion, is like they're rebuilding all the character sound effects, rebuilding all the character designs, feels, but the maps are still the same, plus a whole bunch of new maps. And then on each map, they're expanding zones to create PvP zones as well as PvE zones to let you do team-ups that you can play in different groupings to take on different challenges. I think that's really, really cool, especially because it's a way that people who don't like the PvP aspect can still come in and enjoy playing a Reinhardt in a PvE scenario with like goals and things you have to complete, which I think is different and really cool. And I like the facelift that it's getting. Like, there's also skill trees now, so like Tracer, like one of the ones we know, and this might all change. Like, her pulse bomb can now destroy others beside her. Or, sorry, it'll, like, ricochet. And I think it loses some power with the ricochet, but, like, there's going to be, like, the main pulse and then pulses outward from it. And I think that's awesome. If Rainbow Six is doing that, too, that's great. And I think you do need that. And it's sort of like, I keep waiting for Destiny's PvP to get better. And I was really into Trials. I loved that originally, but not what it is now, because I still think the engine of this new Activision PvP wasn't working for me, and that engine's still there. So yeah, I think it's worth checking out Overwatch 2 for that. The BlizzCon, their discussion of it is all on YouTube, the live streams. So it's all right. Just need to. Yes, I have played since Stasis has come out. Tis a little bit broken. Sorry. No. I mean, but I get it. It's fun. I mean, I wish there were 3 new dark subclasses that all came out at the same time, but I get it. You can't really overdo it. This game just gets harder. Like, I'm just going for the exit strategy. It's these Medusas, and they're taking off. Is it 3 hit? Yeah, 3 dots per hit. Like, let's get that bonus. Let's get that money bags. Yeah, I think that's just a thing that's gonna happen, sadly. This stupid Raven. I think there's a door there, yes. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do a raid at some point too, one of the newer ones, but, you know. Oh, I'm one hit and I'm dead. That's Raven Town. It's so each Raven has a different glide pattern, and it makes me so frustrated. And now I have a small Morning Star, so I've got to really. Oh, okay, that's cool. I like the Whisper. I think that was a fun mission, a great mission to. And I forget who I did that one with. It was probably some Rezo fan. There's Dracula's castle, space, his. Come on, door. Oh, the mummies. I need a better whip, like... There's Turkey. Come on. Not gonna happen. Sometimes save points and restore points suck, because they ultimately just mean we're trapped in this kind of loop-ass system. Yeah. I'm gonna have to replay this whole level, or just move on to Castlevania 3. And they can come from below. I'm not pleased. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think once you get learning any of the like control systems, and they become innate gestures, like VR style gestures, which we think are much more drastic, because they are. Like in VR, you make a huge gesture when you do something with your hands or things in different directions. there's a physicality and a muscle memory that you can develop, almost like playing the piano. Like, I'm not looking at my hands, and I'm using memories that my hands have of how to encounter this data and this sequencing from childhood, you know, like, to an extent. Like, it's not completely that. I have to innovate, of course, like that guy doing that thing. But there is a kind of weird latent memory experience to it, not unlike acting, not unlike... What is that ghost doing there? Is he always there? Ugh. This is a mess. There, I'm invisible. And I think it's something that gamers can understand, and I'm interested in exploring what that implies. Like, I think there's so much to make of the kind of... Like... Here, let's see if that'll work. But it gets rid of the axe, which I really wanted. I'm really interested in what I want to call like the body metrics of gaming, and like how the body responds, not unlike a trained actor or professionalized performer. Thinking about what those things entail. Right. Like, you know, A is jump. Yeah, video game literacy. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's a semiotics issue, but there also becomes a gestural issue. Like, you know, when someone can't complete, like, the insane special attacks in... Damn, I already did. In Street Fighter, because they can't do the proper movement of the joystick with the button combinations. It's a frustrating trained physicality that you can learn, but, like, it's something that, you know, makes sense to gamers, but we don't spend enough time talking about. And we talk about, like, in movies, the kind of encoding of semiotics of what's meant by visual design and what's mise-en-scène, but in gaming we just sort of say, oh, you just play it. We don't really care for all of these things, even though we should, because, like, something like that, like, even just the way, like, I inadvertently made some gesture 35 years ago that I now remember. And it's the same way I joked about, like, my face reacting to gaming. Like, I can't help but feel the tension, and it might not... It's even that, like, it's the expressions we have towards reacting to the physicality of some of it. For those of you just joining us, we are playing Castlevania Collection tonight. Some emulations of classic NES titles, and sort of re-exploring this series from a kind of franchise-based sort of history of play. And I'm going to be playing Symphony of the Night tomorrow for my theater and gaming class, Theater and Video Games at the University of Guelph, where we in the School of English and Theater Studies are incredibly interested in game literacy and so many ways of thinking about all of these different elements. For me, I'm interested in the performance-ness or the performance metrics of it all too. That was a better sequence. Like, some of these button smashes are... Come on, jump. Nope. Oh, that would have been bad. That would have been so bad. See, with the cannons, I just have to slow down and match their fire power, and they're not as fast as my whip, which is purposeful to make my whip more challenged. Okay. I need to get through it with this clock. Because if I can get through it with the clock, I stand such a better chance. Okay, slowing down. Let him fly away. Why did I just do that? It's there to screw me up when I shouldn't have done that. So close. And now we're back to this. I mean, items can spawn from anything. So there is a way that this could potentially still spawn. I also don't believe in playing these emulations and saving and resaving. I think that's cheating. Because I'm a purist. See, it's just, the whip is just that little bit too short. I can't take these hits, man. I'm just frustrated. See, you're making bad decisions. It's like an actor forgetting their lines. Okay, I want to get this one, and then I want to take a break, and then I want to play 3. So I'm going to try one more time on this one. This Grecian, Roman, you know, exploration world. And this time, I'm not going to do the watch. I'm going to remind myself, don't take that knifey, because if I can stop them in their tracks, I got them. Like, they are, it's like Medusa. It's that much stronger. So, who knew time was on my side? That was a Rolling Stones reference. It's okay. Sympathy for the devil? No? Yeah, okay. It's all good. Like, it's just so vicious. The stream can be called Old Man Gets Angry at Games That Were Always This Hard. In my day, we didn't have turbo buttons. I hope you've been having a nice break. For those of you in campus in Canada who are taking classes right now. Hopefully you've had some good time to rest up. I've been reading a really good new book. Where is it? Andrew Kebert, I can't remember the full last name. The Crash Palace. It's about a woman who steals a car in Calgary to help out her daughter, and then it takes you through every car she's ever owned, and how pretty much she's always owned junkers. That was better. I would like this axe for at least a little bit, until I get the clock. I don't know, my basement is cold tonight. It's cold. Hence the oversized, you know, thrift store sweater. Come on. Should I die here and restart with the clock? I should probably do that. You're like, what's he doing? Playing the meta, people. The game has been designed one way and one way only, and I had too many hits. Of course, I'm going to screw it all up now on these Medusae. Which I don't know if that's the pluralization. Not that I pluralize Medusa a lot, but clock. I don't know. This looks bad. This looks bad. I can't take any hits on this round. Yeah. No worries. No worries. I'll be here for a bit. Trying to beat this. Do not take the knife. What? I can't stop them? They can't be stopped by clocks? Oh, this game. This game. Okay, let's give it one more go to, like, get in with pristine hit points. I'm already screwing this up. Okay, that's good. That's really good. They were too smart for me. They knew. They knew in playtests. And if I can save my meat thing. For a bit later into the battle. I do need that. Yes, yes, yes. That's how you do it. I feel so stupidly happy about that. Here we go. Falling down halfway through the game. That's the halfway point. The swamp. There's no way I can beat Frankenstein anywhere. There's no way. I tried to beat this so much as a kid. You know, for all my complaining about this swamp, though, I'm pretty much through it. It's now just the Skeledragons, which are just insanely hard. Oh, and this one, yes. The eagles who bring Igors. Hunchback Express. You know, now that I play far more complex games, this seems relatively easy. course I say that. Man! This is such a long hallway of these things. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. Comparatively, compared to those mummies. There we go. There's our turkey leg. Go vegan, please, if you can. Ugh. Come on. I don't need hearts. I need meat. Because I don't remember how to beat Frankenstein Igor. It's not like that. Okay. I'm gonna save that meat for if I get defeated, but the game will probably know that. Come on, come on. Oh, I missed that heart. Not bad, not bad. I made it to the end of stage 4, but that's it for that one for me tonight. So I don't know which is the select button. It's not down. All right, I'm gonna take a 5-minute break, and then I'll be back for part 3 or whatever anyone in chat wants me to play. So that was pretty fun. So. Nope. Nope. Exit. Exit. Alright, I will just leave the stream running. I'll be back in, not 10, 5, or 5:10. No. Just a little after the hour starts. I'm back. So, I thought I'd just soft start back by talking a little bit about, like, some of the ways this franchise just takes all of these common elements from the things you've just seen and combines all of them together. Like, it just... We see, much like Mario, much like Metroid, much like even something like Little Big Planet, or things that are franchised and instance-based, we see things kind of recouping where they're using the same things over and over and over constantly, and innovating upon them, as well as innovating the difficulty and the expectation. You know, like, Castlevania 4 is just Castlevania 1, but you can see already they've just taken the same idea and played with all the, like, super zoom rotoscaling that the Super NES could do, and playing with some of that to see what they could do to make it look cooler, you know, for a whole new generation. I thought the graphics were spectacular. It's actually a lot harder to play at times because it's so sleek and uses different edges on things all the time, and not as kind of rough as that original game that felt very tough and challenging because its keystrokes were so specific. It needed such specific physical input to know what it's doing. Just because no one plays a fucking Game Boy game on stream, I'm gonna play this for 5 minutes until people come back, you know? Because this is fucking great. Oh yeah, I'm Dr. Peter Cooling, an assistant professor at the University of Guelph, and yeah, I'm here to teach you about gaming, and I'm gonna play Castlevania Adventure 1989. This is wicked. This is gonna be great. Push start key do. High score. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so slow. It's so overpowered for this cute little Game Boy. The Game Boy. Yeah, before color we had this. Oh. Don't worry, I won't be doing this for too long. I love how we don't even really know what these things are. They're just... That superpower, though, that your whip could fire a thing. Oh. Silly eyeball. See your optometrist frequently. Avoid giant eye. I guess the cross just makes me invincible. I'm gonna see if there's some secrets, because they always stuck... Nope, nothing here. Is this force field stay until I get hit? That was a bird thing. That sounds like ColecoVision or Atari, like... Yep. Oh. Did I lose my whip? Ah, it depowers you. That's what it does. But at least they fly down to your level. Oh, this just feels so chunky. I love the chunky analogness of this. If you're just returning from break, yeah, we're just literally playing. I do like this feature, though, that my health is based on the strength of my whip. And when I'm at full health, I have the better whip. I need to collect orbs to empower my whip. This one has to work. Nope. Sometimes there's like secret zones you can go to. That's a heart. A universal symbol for I'm okay. I have 10 minutes to get through this. This has to be one. Let's go for it. Let's crawl up. Nope. You'll see what I mean when I find one. You'll be like, what? And at least my whip is the same power. Come on. Secret. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Black and white climb through to a land of candles. To the night of 1,000 or 4 candles. I mean, the fourth night of Hanukkah is when it really gets going for me. So, I don't know about you, but... And suddenly... Oh, look at that. It's smoothed out because we dealt with... None of that other bullshit has to load up here. Oh, amazing. look at that, look at that. And I know in the second one they tried... Oh, I can't attack off here. There we go. Pause is just pause. There's no special screen, no nothing. Is there another one? Let's see. Is there another one? Nope. Look at them trees. Like, where is this? Like, what kind of part of Transylvania has that kind of mountain range that's so consistently beautiful? You know, like... I know, it's an art department's easy out. Oh, these are gonna fall. These are definitely gonna fall. Yeah, and that one just, you know... Stage 1, rest 2. See if we can at least get to a boss. First bosses are never that hard, but... This is like playing the most, like, cross-platformed PC game that's better played on, like, actual PC, but you're playing it on, like, some kind of a slower console system. I loved my Game Boy. I loved playing that thing at night in the dark and being able to like have a portable game that I could play wherever I needed to. I took it everywhere. I remember I always took it to track meets because my event would be over and they'd expect us to sit there all day. That's how I passed most of Final Fantasy II, was it? And if you ever come near my office at Guelph, I still have my Game Boy. I have to do these jumps. This is stupid. This is stupid. See, like, it's so pixelatedly specific. If you've just joined us, we are trying out different Castlevania games from the Castlevania collection. My name is Dr. Peter Cooling. I'm an assistant professor of theater studies at the University of Guelph. I teach theater and video games. Yes, I look at the performance and human and narrative metrics of games, how we play, when we play, the choices we make like an actor, and I'm curious to see how these things play out in the world of games. These pixels are so unforgiving. Ugh. It's so chunky. It's like we're playing a punch card and it's just giving us just that much. Where's the villain? The giant guy with like a diagonal attacker. Okay. I assume this is what I do, and I just go like this. And he explodes. We are not going to keep playing this. We're going to move on to something a little bit more visually capable than this. But Game Boy. Game Boy, here, live on Twitch. Stage 2. Alright. Yeah, Castlevania Bloodlines, New Generation. So, one of the only cool things about Simon's Quest was that there were several cool things. I mean, like I said, the sequels that came out quickly, like Mario 2, were intended for like a quick audience to kind of captivate on the initial excitement. But this is much more of like a castle adventure game where you go to different castles to collect parts of Dracula and end him, you know? So to try and find his 5 body parts, and you can use them all as different sort of powers, which is kind of cool. But we're gonna play some Dracula's Curse, and here you get the full cinematic sprocket film effect. And we'll let this introduce itself to us. I hope you're enjoying whatever you've got. During the 15th century Europe, there lived a person named Dracula. He practiced sorcery in order to create a bad world filled with evil. We're totally going old school Victoria, absolutely. He began taking over the continent of Europe, changing countries from good to bad. The good people of Europe tried to fight off Dracula, but no one was able to survive. Finally, the Belmont family was summoned to battle Dracula's evil forces, vile forces. The Belmont family has a long history of fighting evil. I screwed that up, but whatever. The townspeople became afraid of the Belmont's superhuman power and asked them to leave the country. Fortunately, the people found a mighty Belmont called Trevor. That's my favorite. Simon Belmont and Trevor Belmont. And Trevor comes prior to Simon because this is like a bit of like a... It's like Back to the Future 3. It just doesn't really make sense in the series, but... The curse of Dracula has begun. The fate of Europe lies with Trevor. Now you want to see the most metagame thing possible? So today my son and I played this I practiced a bit. Yes, I practiced the games. And he spells his name, Xavier, which was great. But the real OP way to play this is to put in your name. And this will mean we start with 10 lives instead of 2. So like the old Konami code in Contra, up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B, A, B, select, start. This is what you do. This is what you do. I'm so fucking excited for this one. This is the one. This is the one that, like Mario 3, took all of the experience of the original. It looks exactly like the original. It's the same engine that they're using. And I know I say it like they've got like a multi-team of 10,000 people working on rendering and everything, like the graphics engine, you know, for like Dota or something, but no, it's just Castlevania, but it's the same art style, same process, same doors, same blocks and sequences, same exact HUD, you know? In fact, many of the villains are the same. Yes, they've learned how to process things a bit faster, but... My son asked what this was today. I said, this is a church. And I talked about stained glass, and he's a bit too young to perceive, you know, what that entirely implies. But especially, like, the connection with, like, Christian faith to, like, stories of vampirism-ish, you know. He knows that vampires don't like garlic, and he told his mom tonight that vampires don't like garlic bread, which to me was impressive, because it was like taking the bread and adding it to the garlic. It's like, yeah, you do not serve a vampire garlic bread, you know. So this is ultimately a platformer, and, you know, platformers imply things that go from left to right across a platform, not unlike a trapeze platform. Probably something down there I could have gotten, but I'll just leave it. And it's not always linearly left, right completely. You know, there will be ups, there will be downs, and there will be ways to think about what it can do in different directions. So here we're on the roof and we're going back down. You'll notice that this level looks exactly like the third level of the one we just played, the original. They've used a lot of the animation and the scenic design of blocks for the same stuff. Even the Medusa heads that you'll notice here, like, it's the same thing. They look like Kate McKinnon to me. Just the way she has those wonderful blonde locks, you know. But of course, My son likes this part because he's like, Dad, where are we? We're in Zombie Town. We're here with the zombies and the ghosts that all show up. The poor people of this small Transylvania town, or those who've already died, who've been brought back as these creatures of the night. And like, who leaves a sinkhole in a town like that? I guess Ottawa, right? The Hunchbacks, just literally cut and paste from the other game. Turkey leg, all this stuff. So to go back to the physicality of the way we play, like I'm just doing all this. Yes, I practiced today, but it's all still from memory. It's all still here. It's all still inherent keystrokes that work. Now, you'll notice these cannons have been upgraded. They're a 3-fire now. A little faster, a little more sleek. Now, I am playing this on a PlayStation. This isn't an original Nintendo, even though I have one of those in my office. I have this game in my office, the original cart. We can blow in it like a NES cart if you want. If you've ever heard of doing that. That doesn't actually work, but... So this random Minotaur guy, this Horned Knight, I was telling my story, the stories of like Arachne and the labyrinth and stuff to my son today, but... Now, chat, you have a decision to make. We can take different paths to the castle. We're not even at the castle yet. So they've added, like, Megaverse stuff to, like, expand it out. So you let me know. This is Castlevania. This is the map. We have two options. The swamp or the clock tower. I await your gracious choice. Type away if you can. Swamp? Swamp? We want to go swamp? I think we got one for swamp. I got you. Don't worry. I got you. All right. Swamps have it. Swamps have it. I don't like the swamp. Just FYI, I do not like the swamp. This swamp has so many owls that are just ridiculous. These things are a one-shot kill. So you gotta really proceed with caution. But there are aspects of the swamp that I do like. Like, some of it is a bit less intense. I don't think there's an actual boss at the end of this. I think we just have to get through some, like, really difficult sequences, you know? It's catchy music, you know? Like, it's... when you have only so many tones you can work with. That guy looks fierce. And not in, like, a drag race way, like... Alright, so I need the crossbow here. I need to get the crossbow. Because these owls are going to be the death of me. There it is. I don't even hesitate. I just throw the... It's not a true crossbow. I know a crossbow is different than this. It's just it's a boomerang cross that will come back to you. Okay. All these hunchbacks. They use the same animation for the hunchback that they do for Igor. I find that fascinating. Red skeletons regenerate. So he comes back. You know that thing in old platformers where you can't leave the screen? Because if you leave the screen, all the damage you do to something will just not exist. And sometimes they'll respawn, which I hate. Oh, there's some lightning effects. I think you have another choice coming up here. I think this is the end of this part of the swamp. I'm desperately low on beer. So we can fight a boss there at the statues, or we can go to the bog. I guess there's a boss either way. It's your game. I play for you. Or at least in this case, if it's Victoria who's going to type for us. So statues or bog? What do you think? Cool. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, birds. I think the axe is a good choice. I don't know. As we learned in Castlevania 1, thank you, thank you. So there's all these spores here that you have to deal with. So that's a good dispersal pattern that I've got there. But I don't like when they turn into like little jelly things and like... It's okay, Victoria. I've been training for like 30 years for this. Because it's about 1990 or 1991. I want to throw an axe and see if... No, it's not working for some reason. Yeah, he'll go too far. He's just a one hit, that's rude. So there's this orchestra that does video games live music, and they do a Castlevania medley. And my god, it takes me back. Oh yeah, don't worry, I've insta-died a lot already. The first hour, there was some bad insta-death. I fell off some weird things, so total sympathy. But it's this axe. This axe allows me a lot of freedom with the spiders, and like that dagger fell, and the dagger's just a direct linear attack. But like without this axe, I'd have so much less I could do here. Oh, that's not good. Ooh. So that is a 2 or 3 times block, which means it costs me, I think one axe costs me, it does either double down, I forget, it does something good. I need a turkey leg, I need to heal up. I could have waited for that. Got a free Trevor, an extra man, extra character, but and here's where the game tries to throw a like little twist, and this is one of the ways in which the game has an origin point for Symphony of the Night. So, what? The statue's coming to life? A little performance interlude. Thanks for helping me. I'm Sifa, the vampire hunter. I will follow you if you need my help. What will you do? Take him with you? Leave him behind. My son today said, leave him behind. It's like, we are taking you. I hope a magic spirit will give us the power. And I can literally press a button to switch between characters now. At any point, which makes no sense. I can just literally replace Trevor. Oh, now there's a pirate ship, and we got to use the pirate ship to get across. there's 2 bosses on this pirate ship to get across, so let's see how we do with this. Now, forgive me, I need to figure out the... Oh, I'm saving it. I want to just check the controls. There. Yes. So I can literally press this, and you can see Sifa's up there, or Sifa, who cares, but, and I can literally change in and out, and make use of... I do love that I carried my weapons over, that I don't have to repopulate my character's skills. Here's fun, this is fun. Ooh. I mean, why would pirates do this? Well, I guess they're undead pirates, so... Now, I tried to save the sword for... That's not going to work. But we share hearts, I think. Oh, and I just walked right off the edge. So yeah, there's that second-hand stress for insta-die, you know. The button configuration is weird. Like, I should have... Yeah. The clock is pretty powerful to just stop time. Unless, as you learned in the last game, the game doesn't want us to stop time. So this is where the 10-player characters helps. Axe? Yep. I might keep the axe. I might keep that volley from that distance. Well, it's okay to look at that. Like, it's pretty uniform. Like, Trevor is designed a certain way. You can see him on the block there, but like you have a little give, but at a certain point, you just literally, it's just over. You just fall. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. It might all end tonight on the boat. Luckily, these games had instant continue, and then they had passwords. No saving. You're just done. You're just done. I'm going to convince him to come this way. There we go. But that means, I mean, that makes their attack all that more powerful, because like they're fencing at you, and they might not be harder than like a single hit point, but the idea that they can tap you and knock you off is huge. It's the Lucio effect of you know, for Overwatch fans. So I stopped time there. Cost 5 hearts, but I can stop time with my clock. And there I decided I'm going to just make use of this. And see, I was worried I was going to hit that and not be able to like bounce off the wall, but... Now you see the proportionally discolored green squares that will disappear. The moment I step on that, it'll start to shatter. That one looked close. That does not look like I should have been able to do it. I should not have gotten that. Those ghosts. I still think ghosts with partial bones are terrifying. That looked too close too. like Poltergeist, as problematic as it is as a film by Tobe Hooper that, you know, heavily incorporates weird aspects of poor reconciliation and misuse of, you know, visions of indigeneity, just like, oh, why did I stop and talk? Because that's what makes me me, you know. Like Pet Sematary by Stephen King, had some really incredible design for how they decided to work with some of their specters and ghosts. Sorry, my menu has come up on my screen, so I'm just going to, I'm on an old TV. Where is the exit button? There we go. Yes, this early prof gig does not pay the. See, I totally got screwed up. The deal to retrofit all the gear, you know. Now I'm just playing like a total novice. This is the TV that my wife and I have had since we first started living together, and I still use it for gaming. It's an older 720. It's just, you know, but it's starting to screw up. And like right now, there's stuff that's appeared on the screen. Not a menu. It's just a little bar, but the sound effect was good though. I'll just keep destroying them. Okay. Now, I do have an original CRT TV in my office to play old games on, to get that kind of cool screen effect, but I really hope Ontario figures out how to like stop going to see everyone all the time and shop, and we can just lock down and get out of our houses a bit. It's growing frustrating. There's some people who live down the block from us. I saw 7 or 8 family members, sons, daughters, their spouses, the parents, all hugging outside, about to go for a walk, and just made me livid. But you know, I really hope, you know. Personally, I'm concerned. My dad is a healthcare worker. He's 65, or he might just be a bit older. I think he's 66 now. But like, he just got his first shot. My sister is and that's in Ottawa. My sister is an ER nurse in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, and she got called for her shot, but missed her time because she was on a shift or something. They had to. Which seems bizarre to me. Oh. But she'll get it next week or something. But like, if you're not in healthcare, I'm so concerned that like, yeah, no, they're not going to get to us, students in particular, by September. Like they say they will, but it's like, come on. Not trying to be a pessimist. I just get concerned unless there's like suddenly like a flood of vaccines, you know. Yeah. And my dad's unit at the Ottawa hospital said that it was done by units. So they basically classified you into most urgent, and then moderately urgent, and then least. And once his unit got called, everyone goes. But like it's still like a lottery system, you know, which is crazy. You know, summer will help. Being outside a bit more will help. But like, I just miss being able to take my kid to an indoor play area. There's a few of them that are run by the city here in Toronto that are like, you know, ball pits and all that stuff. And I get it. He can't do it. It's not safe. But it ultimately, like, it would just change so much of the dynamic to be able to, like, do those choices, you know, instead of just feeling trapped a bit. But I mean, kids get more video games than he should at 4, but, you know, this is not good. No! I just need to be here, because then these birds... I'm just going to leave these birds alone. There's more birds, yes. But there will be... I can't get over there, because that's for a zone if I have a different ally with me. So early examples of Metroidvania. Metroidvania, if you're unfamiliar, is the idea that Metroid and Castlevania eventually start systems where, like, you can't access certain parts of the map unless you have a certain skill or character with you or item. Of course, I lied there. This one I could have. I need a health thing. Are these the mummies again? They are. So literally, guys, we fought in the first one. But I don't think I can do a second. Okay. And I'm assuming I share my damage with my co-character. This is a waste. There's no chance there's a health thing here. Okay, let's slow this down. Let's just focus a bit. Okay, this is better. I still have a short whip though. You missed a ton. That's what I need. I'll take those few hits for that. Okay. I got all the way to Frankenstein and Igor at the end of the 4th level in Castlevania 1, and now we're trying to make it to the castle in Castlevania 3. Thanks for keeping the stream open. Always appreciated. This is just ridiculous. I don't know about you, but I'm not going anywhere, so I'm okay with doing this as a sequence. That was close. I gotta speed this up a bit. I got 40 seconds. So close. This is just so defeatist. Like, it's just downright mean. Like, I can't take that kind of hits. Like, and I have no weaponry to start. What? Yeah. It's like, it's just like, it's a third of my health bar. That's a free... it's just... I know. It was so close. And where's the rest of my whip? Like, there it is. Okay. Okay. So before I go, because that's where we got to tonight, I'm going to jot down my password if I can know the right sequence of things here. Password. Yeah, this is fucked up. This is a password. So I can play again. So my name is Help Me, because that was my secret meta way of getting. And it's cross, cross, whip, heart, heart. In a 4x4 grid. Yeah, I used to have like books of these things. Like, you know, like gridded out, because that's how you had to get save points. Like, you know, I had to go to school and do other things. So. You want to see Kid Dracula? I still didn't have this when I was a kid, so I just wrote it down, but let's end with some Kid Dracula. Because this is adorable. It's everything you just saw reconfigured for kids. And it's still kind of hard. Oh, boy. How did I suddenly get 7 viewers when we're playing Kid Dracula? This is amazing. So apparently he throws tomato sauce, and you can like supercharge your tomato sauce, and I love his little face. And if I pause, or if I stop, does he go to sleep? Okay. And there's these coins that you can use for really suspect games for children, like that include like, I'm gonna save it until we get there, so. Like, this is hard for a kid. It's the exact same thing from what we just saw, but it's like insta-death. But he can shoot up, which is great. Controls are a bit faggy. But he's Kid Dracula. In some ways, this also will have an impact on Symphony of the Night. But look, the same bad, like, drapes that we had in the original Castlevania. The same windows. It's the same art design. Yeah. But it's the same theme that's just a lot more fun. I don't know what that guy is. So if you're just joining, I'm Professor Peter Cooling. I teach theater and English at the University of Guelph, and I teach a theater and video games class where we think about the performance qualities, the metrics, the narratives, the experiences, the choices we make as players that influence how these games get played, and whether they're fully choice-based or live action or acted. There is something there to it that's really all about how we play. I don't think I'm going to get that coin. I did. that transform us into performers. If you like the stream, follow the channel. We'll be playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to show you the really suspect Japanese minigames that happen between levels in Kid Dracula. And despite it being Kid Dracula, I don't know that it's entirely for kids, but it is. I really wish he would, like, go to sleep. I think he does if I just don't move him. Oh. It's okay. Then the game gets really hard temporarily. Those infamous falling blocks. There's the moon. Alright, this baddie. I don't know what he is. If he's a ghost in like a sleeping bag or like a sheet. If he comes back as like Super Ghost, he's a lot more mean. Okay. Are you ready? Yes, homing spell. Now we can shoot in all those directions. Now I need to try and get the can-can, because the can-can is the one that was super problematic, because I was showing this to my kid. Which would it be? I want to go... Sorry. I want to go B. No, we're getting roulette. I'll tell you all about can-can. Two coins for one medal. I don't know what I'm doing. This is the weirdest, but... I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, but... See you again, good luck. So, when we got the can-can, it's 3 women on stage, and you have to guess the color of their underwear. Yellow, green, blue, red, or white. And they're each worth different life values, like 7 up, 5 up, whatever. And you choose, and then they all lift their skirt, and you see the color of their underwear. Now, it's just a color tone change, but my son's like, what is it? I'm like, I thought they were going to dance. No, they're just showing their asses to you. It's... And this is the sad duck level. This is like... These poor sad ducks. Oops. Yes. These poor sad ducks. And witches. Oh god. They do look so sad. Anyway, tis 11. That's the end of my stream because it's a school tutorial stream. So if you enjoyed it, I'll post this into my YouTube page. You can follow me at Cooling, K-U-L-I-N-G on Twitter, or you can follow me at my gaming account, which is Rezo Professor, R-E-Z-O Professor. I play for Team Resolute, so it's always nice to support them. Team Rezo on Twitter if you want to follow us. Destiny players, but players from all over. And tomorrow night, same time, 9 to 11 Eastern, I'll be playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and my cat will likely jump on me, which he's about to start to do now, so thanks for playing some Castlevania games with me, and have yourselves an excellent night.